fun. Good crazy. Hello, Mama Briggs. Great Rising, what's going on, Jamie? How are you? Some questions are loaded. Like, let's just be honest. Okay, Mary? Some questions are loaded questions. You know that, right? Especially depending on who you're asking. So you might want to be careful when you ask that question. Because when you say you have one question, that can be a loaded question, but it also depends on who you ask. So I'm just making sure you really want to answer that question. Because that's what you have to understand is that, you have to be careful what you ask for. And that's really important. Make sure you really want the answer to it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome in, welcome in. All right. We're going to see what it is today, what it's about, what comes your way, what you guys need to know. We'll see what we can do here. All right, so let's see what it is that you guys need to know here. And the places and the spaces that you're going and that you're growing here is what was said. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Caroline Stella Wolfe here, and I'm the founder of Four Corners Healing 37. Welcome in. So we've got the Knight of Wands that crosses you right now. This kind of like the apprehension, but the move at the same time. Thank you, Spirit. So also it's the apprehension here of the move, but yet it's like, I've got this passion, I've got this drive, right? This reactional space yet, but I don't know how to move just yet, okay? This is the energy and the passion and the drive. The Knight of Wands is the persistence to not give up, but it's also something that you're hiding deep inside, and some of you don't even know what you're hiding deep inside is what this is saying to me right now, okay? All right? So there's this embracive energy here, and I feel like the embracing of the energy is clearing a pathway is what they're showing me, but yet the pathway at the same time, it's not blocked. You just can't see it yet. Yeah, the 10 of Cups energy is the overall energy. So you're finding a deeper fulfillment. But this is a deeper fulfillment within you that is transitioning this process. Because everything that you change within you will change your perspective, which will change your view, which will change the world around you. So it's like a deeper reflective process, but it's like the passion and the determination of what you're feeling inside is coming alive. And so it's like, remember when we had the messages of the ancestors coming back? And it's like they're reigniting something inside of you. This is a piece of your blueprint, something you hide inside of you to be true. So this is a lot of ancestral energy that's coming back up inside of you. And this is the emotional fulfillment. This is the connection, right? Because a lot of you have gone through those spaces and places that you don't even know from which you came. You don't even know from which you came because your lineage was separated in multiple different ways is what they're saying here. But this is you coming back home to you, the truest of you, and what you always knew or thought to be true, right? And this is the 10 of Cups that is over you, okay? This is the passion and the desire to follow through. It's something deepening inside of you. You could call it a calling, right? But it's this pain that's turned into this power, that's turned into this passion that you don't know how to represent it yet. But yet you're emotionally fulfilled. All right. So, you guys are in the transitional process. You don't like it. They're reading this backwards. This is in the future right now. Okay, so the 10 of coins is what you're trying to get to, but we don't know how to get you there yet. We just know that you feel this overall switch and this transformation taking place, but it hasn't occurred yet. But this is what you're moving into. Don't ask me why they're reading it backwards. They just are. Alright? So what's in the past here? Since you guys switched it up here. Thank you. Beautiful. The 7 of Swords. This is moving away from past lies, past hurt, past deceits, okay? Past drama. But part of this is your own. Part of this is your own. You're like, oh, fuck it. I got 5 more swords. I'm just going to leave those 2 there. It's kind of like, fuck it. We've been through this before. Alright. I'm just going to take the swords that I have and move forward. Right? This is the energy. It's like, oh, I already know what to do with this. It's the wheel of karma turning. Okay? It's the wheel of karma. That's what they're saying is explaining of this process. You've learned what not to do. You've learned what not to play into. Now, there's energy that crosses you. But this energy that's crossing you is not coming from you personally. But it's being reflected to you. And it's almost as if, like, you know what to do with it. But you're feeling it. Okay. Because some of you are in this process where you feel like something's against you, right? Right? And you're moving in that right now. You're like moving, you're in it. Like some of you are in this, right? Lies, deceit, whatever. You're moving in forward progress. Some of you are going through all these transitional shifts, so there's a lot of illusions here. But the clarity of the 10 of Cups is what you're moving into, the emotional fulfillment. This is like a deeper layer of faith and trust. Okay? There's so many different transitions here. Some of you are really starting to start off in this process of learning, right? Learning what all this is, what all this means. How you're seeing between the seams. The temperance and the balance. This is the temperance between both worlds. It's the balance between both worlds. It's the balance between harmony. It's the balance between spirituality and the human world. So you're having to learn this balance is what they're showing me. And harmony between the physical world and the spiritual world. And for some of you, it's not easy to do. Because for some of you, you live the spiritual your entire life. So you've always seen the in-between of what lies in the seams. And you're just waiting is what they're giving me here. And it's this temperance of this balance between both worlds. Okay? Because there were a lot of you that integrated into your human vessel in 2020 and 2022 is what they're showing me here. So a lot of you integrated with your human vessel in 2020 and 2022. Some of you back as far as 2012 and 2020. But a lot of you that were involved, it's like, I can't, other than this seed of creation that literally I feel like something was shoved in. Like, I have the feeling when spirit engulfs my body, when I go into transcendental meditation and I allow them into half of my vessel, the way that it feels, the impact that my body feels, that was the same impact that they gave me when they showed me that some of you came into embodiment, some of you came into your vessel, which some of you call this your awakening. Okay? 2020, 2022 is what they're showing me, but some of you as far back as 2012 and 2017, right? Some of you your entire life, right? You never split in two is what they're showing me, but a lot of you that split in two came back to you, but there were few of you that didn't split in two, right? So they're showing me this, and this is the balance and the harmony that you're trying to get to, because you can't, it's like you know where you're supposed to be, but you can't be there yet. Does that make sense? And you're having a hard time balancing this temperance between the body and the embodiment. You're having a hard time balancing the body and the embodiment. So this is emotional because it's spiritual because it's reflective to part of your soul's blueprint, but also soul's transgressions, right? To remembering the process, waking up. I've always told everybody, I'm like, you're not waking up. They're like, oh, I had my awakening. I'm like, sir, ma'am, you're remembering, but you're reawakening. But it's not just a one-time thing. It's cycles. Everything's in cycles. That's why it all looks like a clock. All right, many different layers, from astrology to your birth chart to everything. It's all a solar clock. Part of that is your divine blueprint, and yes, you have the free will to maneuver that blueprint and to change things in that process. But it's all part of your blueprint. All right. So a lot of you are having a hard time balancing this physical here with this emotional process. All right. So it's very spiritual and it's very integral. I don't even know if that's a word. I know integrity, but they said integral. Okay. Whatever that is. They love to make up words over here. Like my most famous word that they made up was vesicle, which is the vehicle and the vessel. So they'll combine words and make up new words all the time. We speak our own language. Okay. So try to understand that sometimes. It comes through in two words combining into one space. So they're showing me that vessel of you was split in two, and then in 2020, 2022, 2017, 2020, 2012, and you came back, right? It's like, boom, my body, every time that they show me that, man, it just shoves right into my heart space, okay? That's the best way I can say it. So you've been trying to embrace these both worlds of you, and it's almost becoming harder and harder to do. All right, what's the advice here? Because we're trying to get to the Ten of Cups. They're reading backwards for me, right? So this is the position of what to do to support this process of going, oh, fuck it. The illusions, the lies, deceit. Because a lot of people don't remember that we also have Pisces and Neptune, which is part of the illusion. And Saturn just went direct in Pisces like 4 days ago, guys. All the energy is transitioning. So just give it. Like, after the full moon, just give it like 3 days for the energy to settle in. After Mercury actually goes direct, give it 3 days to a week before it's settled in a little bit. Because ever notice how, like, the first week of Mercury, shit's hell in a handbasket and everything's kind of chaotic and all over the place? And then the second week in Mercury, it kind of levels out a little bit. And then the third week, you might have a little bit of an amp up because that's at its peak. And then it dies down and goes into shadow again. So it's that type of energy that you're having to fall into. But you can't see what it is right now because of the process that you're moving through to get to the Ten of Cups. There's a lot of illusionary energy around. So this is why you have to take the thinking out of it and go with the feeling. It's not what you think is going on, because you can't allow assumption. And the thinking got you into trouble. And the thinking part is the matrix. So you're trusting the intuitive process of the soul and the heart steadiness. But if you don't have the trust and belief in you, one of the biggest things I've been working on here in my business with people and clients and mentees has been going back to the bone basics, okay, of where that trauma imprint occurred, but looking at all the surface level stuff that covers it up. And boom, uncovering until you get to the bottom part to be able to heal through. So people think that they've healed through all these things, but then they're going, holy shit, that's where it stems from. And I'm like, yeah, look at all this that sits on top. Now you've moved through half of it because it's dusted off, but you've got all this to get to that bottom layer. And that's what you guys are transgressing through right now. This is the lies, this deceit, the illusions, which were placed upon you because you allowed other people's intrusions to intrude the mind, which caused the cloudiness. Allowing people to tell you what to do, and then your subconscious is like, oh, I should run with that because I should do that. No, this is the deepest layer of faith and trust and belief in thyself. Do you not remember what was on the temples? Do you not remember the teachings? To thy own self be true. and know thyself. There was a reason that was written. So thank you. So this is where you are in the space of leaving all those apprehensions behind. And this is the movement of the Knight of Wands that crosses you right now while you're leaving that apprehension behind, balancing the spiritual and the physical. Okay? That's getting to the Ten of Cups. Like I said, they're reading backwards. Usually we go this way. They're going this way today. That's fine. We'll do things backwards. Sometimes we do it on their terms. Sometimes we do it on my terms. What's the advice here? How do we get from point A to point B here? What is the process to be? In this physical, in the physical, and then we'll relate it to the spiritual. Thank you. The Knight of Cups, the apprenticeship, the action of trust, right? So how do you enact trust? Well, this we teach all the time. I guess you're going to have to figure out what that looks like for you in your own individual process of how to move through that. Because for each individual blueprint, it's different. See, we work for a community. We don't just work for one. So every race, lineage, background, color, creed, wherever you come from, whether it be those that carry the feather or the rose and that were pushed into that embodiment, or those that have been here going through the process, in that you're going to have to figure out how you believe and how you trust in you, what that magic is to tap inside to again, to remember what that is. But you have to get to the very bones of what it is that's blocking that trust and that faith and that belief in thyself. And there was a message that came out about 2 days ago now, that I got from Spirit. And they were like, they do not like the anointing upon your head because you walk in the signs, faith, and miracles. But they don't understand and they don't know how to walk in faith. So then therefore, you're the false prophet? This is the deepest layer of faith and trust and belief. Your spiritual journey has been cultivated because your spiritual journey is about your spiritual connection to you, your spiritual connection to your team, and your connection to the God of your understanding and inner standing. It's not just one thing. That's your journey. Your Christ consciousness is your heart openness and the foresight, the awareness of you, the awareness of all things, and the awareness of all things on all levels. And so this is the apprenticeship you're going to have to push yourself through with the determination of the Knight of Wands to figure out what that faith, what that trust, what that belief looks like in yourself. Now, I'll carry your flag with you every step of the way because I got plenty that I've carried their flag until they could carry their own. I've got one in my home. I will carry your flag with you. Trust me. The Ten of Cups is what you want to get to. The faith, the trust, and belief in yourself because nobody else did. I understand that to the fullest and to the deepest of my core of what that is, what that looks like, and what that means. And our stories intertwine in the in-between. All right? But I had to have the faith, the trust, and the belief in myself to not allow anybody else to tell me from the time I was 4 years old that I was this or I was that or I was whatever, while meanwhile I just proved them all wrong of what they thought I was. Now they all love me because they understand. Maybe just even a smidgen. But now they all come back to me going, holy shit. It's all right. You got to leave people where they're at and allow them to come to their own understandings, their own awareness in their own due time. You're not interjecting on anybody's free will. It's all in divine time. But when you're ready, I'll see you too. The Ten of Cups, the fullest of trust, the fullest of belief, the fullest of faith in yourself. How do you get to that? That's the Ten of Coins. That's the prosperity. What that passion, what that determination is, what that looks like. Do you understand that one of the reasons I'm here to do what I do is because I'm here to empower you, to teach you how to trust in yourself, believe in yourself, because you don't remember how to? Like I said, I'll carry your flag with you until you can carry it, and I got a team that'll do it too. But you have to take the step forward to come see me and be transparent. Remove the ego. Remove the ego You're having to remove your own ego of your own illusions of what you think things are and assuming to what they truly are. And you're igniting that passion. It's like, oh, when people come to me, they're like, well, I'm like, what brings you happiness? They're like, oh, I like my dog. I'm like, no, what lights you up inside? They're like, my kids. I'm like, okay, here we go. No, what lights you up inside? What was your greatest pain? Tell me what your greatest pain is, and I'll tell you mine. And then we can commune and bond, because we have an understanding that intertwines. But you got to get through the surface level of the illusions to get to the belief and get to the faith and get to the trust. But how you get to that is your own unique imprint that you wrote in. Not mine, yours, your contract. What it looks like, what you're here to do. How do you get to that 10 of Cups? Well, you got to get through the illusion. You got to balance the spiritual and the physical, both worlds, okay? And you got to fall into this apprenticeship of the faith and the trust and the belief. That's why we say there's a transition taking place, but the transition is emotional first. Then it becomes physical. And that's when everything gets diabolical in your world. That's the action, the drive, the passion that comes from the process of unveiling those pains to the deepest of level and seeing how they relate and connect on every spiritual level to you as you pull through into this 10 of coins. It's the energy that you know that you want to be in to jump into that timeline, which is your highest timeline of alignment. The only thing stopping you is your own illusions, your own projections, and your own assumptions. And that's what you're moving from. How do you do that? Balancing the physical and the spiritual. Jumping into the apprenticeship of that heart openness, that heart centeredness, allowing the heart to guide you, not the head. Because you half the time, you don't even know when the subconscious is even running. That's why we say be careful with your words, because your subconscious does not know if you're talking to you or someone else. Be careful of your thoughts. Your subconscious doesn't know if you're talking to yourself or to something else. It's all part of the programming. The war was on your mind and the prize was on your soul. It doesn't fit anymore. That's the chaos of leaving that old process of the spiritual identity loss. You all want to feel that connection. Y'all want to feel that connection. You can tap into it. That's great. Because you're smart as hell and your crown is wide open. But you've wanted to feel your entire life. And that's why you tried to fill your cup with everything else outside of you inside. Until you realized that that was the cause of your demise. Trying to fill your cup with every single prize outside. Until you saw between the lines and you realized that the heart openness and the heart centeredness of what caused you pain was the progress to get through to the spiritual limitations that you placed upon you and that you had to remove. The things that were done to you, you had to undo to be redone too. That's what you're moving to. The full-on emotional fulfillment. The life, the dreams, the aspirations. But you thought it wasn't gonna bite? You came here for the honey and you didn't think the bees were gonna sting? Come on now. That's part of the remembering. You know damn well it wouldn't have been a challenge for your soul if you didn't have to evolutionize through all these processes. There would have been no fun. You guys like a challenge. You run on challenges. You run on the fringe of all things. That's why you could never be structuralized. That's why you fought it. That's why you hid things. That's why you knew things. That is going to get you to the 10 of coins. That frequency that you want to tap into, but first you got to uncover that inside of you. You got to jump on in, and people are feeling the call once again to jump on in, all in. People are splitting apart. People are moving apart from other people. Relationships, physical things, everything is transitioning. This is what you wanted. But in order for things to transition, they have to fall, or what you perceive as falling. Because don't tell me that every time you've fallen, you haven't gotten up 10 times better than what you were before. It was just a personification that you were even falling in the first place. You were already put together. You were already whole. Somebody just told you you weren't. Somebody just told you were wrong. Somebody just told you it was this way. Somebody just told you it was that way. Somebody just told you that you only got 1 times 1, which equaled X, which equals Z's. It was all their lies and hidden prophecies. And until you chose to take off the rose-colored glasses and not make any choice at all, red pill, blue pill, no choice at all, wondering, waiting, if and when you would hear the call, waiting for time and space to fall. Guess where you're at? Right in the middle. You hear the call, waiting, just watching for everything to take place right before your eyes. Your soul is what's being liberated. Your soul is being liberated through the transformations. But when you sit here and come with the victimized mentality of why is this happening to me, but yet you asked for it. You asked. You invoked the ancestors, yo. Thank you, sir. Do you not? You guys invoked Hecate. You invoked the ancestors. You don't think it works both ways in the universal properties? You ask for things you want to receive, right? But then you're like, oh, why is this happening to me? Well, it's being cleared out so you can receive. But you take it personally. Thank you, Jeffrey. You take it personally. Because that's the way your human eyes see it. It's your demise. Because that's the ego that hides in the subconscious. That's the rubber band effect from the mind to the heart. That's the falsified process. And you're breaking that. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't look good. It hurts. It sucks. You're leaving people behind that you fucking love, that you don't even want to, because you know what? It's not a personal thing. It's a spiritual thing, and you can't help what it is that you're told to do. For the time being, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean you're not going to reconnect. It just means that you have a certain type of orders that you can't neglect. For those that'll hear the call, they'll listen. And they'll follow every direction. And for those that don't, they'll learn in due time. And they'll remember to close their mouths and listen. Thank you, sir. It was an honor, privilege, as always. That was beautiful. That was from my chief to you, and your lineage too, is what he says from me to you. So that is a family member of mine that is my chief in real life. It's a part of my lineage, a part of my heritage, and so he had a special message for you today. So thank you, sir, for being here and paving the pathway before me. Alright, we're going to jump into some personal readings. If you guys would like some personal readings, we're going to channel through today. So I don't even feel like the cards are going to be at play. So we'll just do what we do, man, and we'll have fun, and we'll see what it is that you need and what you need to see or hear or whatever this is as this transgression moves through the process. So thank you for being here with me today. I do have a flash sale that's going on today and tomorrow. Okay, 22% off any service, which is any reading or any healing there. And all you have to do is use coupon code flash sale, capital F, capital S, with 22 behind it. So if you guys want to jump in, I'm telling you, get in now while you can. It's a beautiful process. Things are changing all over the place. So it's all there and reflective for you to see whatever it is you need. It's a variety of many different things. All right. So let's jump in and see who needs what. Thank you guys for being here. All right. It's time to come out of the caves, yo. You guys have been getting the hermit. Come out of the caves. Time to come out of the closets, right? It's great. Thank you all for being here. You're very welcome. I wish I could take, yes, I have the ability to see, I have the ability to channel many different things and many different beings and And I have the availability to do a lot of different things. And I'm blessed and I'm humbled. And not only is that because of my work, but 110% it's because of spirit. Those that don't understand, that do carry the feather and the rose, that they are chosen to be the battery, to be the bridge. It is not them. It is we. And it will always be we. So what you're seeing is a lot of ego falling around where people think it's them and they assume. And you're going to see what happens here soon in this reality with people that know what it is to be. So that's why I always give the most humble respect to the creator of my great spirit and understanding and my team, because I know that it's not just me. It can't be. Not at all. Not one bit. Not the life I've lived. No. See, I've been connected for a very long time. And it's never left me. It's never gone away. I've always been connected. And it's always been here to stay. It's been my journey to be one of those spiritual beings that was always wide open. You know? It didn't start out the way I thought it was going to by any means, man. But ghost hunting and dead people and spirits, you know. I didn't start seeing real demonic shit until I was 17, 18 years old. And that's when things really transgression for me in my life of understanding. So, you know, there was a lot of things there in between. So it's been a humble process and a humble quest. And we're going to dive right in here and see who needs what. All right. And if you guys would like to be a subscriber here, every other day I am loading subscriber-only content. So with that subscriber-only content, you also get 10% off on anything at any point in time on my website. And there is a coupon code there in that space. All right, so as soon as you guys become a subscriber, there's going to be posts and blogs and all sorts of stuff. And there was a reading posted yesterday for subscribers only. So every other day there'll be a subscriber-only video there. Alright, and there'll be some other cool things along the way that we open up and do. So if you guys would like a reading today, the link is in the bio. 41 now. It's been beautiful, man. It's been a beautiful process. You would be, Taz. We would be the same age, Taz. We would be the same age in that. We would be. Yeah, man. Our lineage runs deep. You would be the same age. I'm 41, but it started when I was 4. And it usually starts, so I tell everybody, your abilities usually start in that space around that age, but it depends on if you get cut off or not. Because most people, at the age of 7, it has to do with the brain waves, right? And you detach from that delta brainwave space. But normally that runs forward. But if you don't have anything supporting it, it gets cut off. So if you yourself are not supporting it, or your family's not supporting it, embracing it, and teaching you, you usually veer off, right? And that cord gets cut. And so that's why a lot of people came back into themselves, right? But yeah, 4 years old. It started with seeing my great-grandmother, who I was named after, sitting in the chair while we were all at the dinner table. That was just the first time it came through. But most people start with their family, because that's what's going to be like natural, right? And normal. And first it's the feeling, and then it progresses from there, and then it's this, and then it's that. And it's the opening of the flower, you know? It's the empowerment of the opening of the flower. Yeah. Most definitely. Most definitely. What's up, Jay? And if they'll be okay? Well, you know, it depends on a lot of things if they'll be okay. That's not your weight. See, we just teach. We do the healing and we do the teaching, because we're not here to constantly do the healing. Nah, this mama bear don't hold on. We kick you the fuck out the nest. Right? We're here if you need us, but we kick you the fuck out the nest. We heal you because we teach you along the way so that you can handle your own shit, because nobody's ever gonna remember. Nobody's ever gonna remember if you do it for them, man. So, no. When we work with you, man, yeah, we'll do the healing, but we're gonna do the teaching in the process in order to teach you how to do it, to teach you how to do it for other people. Dragonfly whizzes by and sings now teaching, man. 110%. That's the beauty. Oh, that's always a difficult experience when you cut people off in many different ways and places, right? Yeah, because like at first it's not like a cutoff, man. That's the hard part about it. You're not cutting anybody off in reality, right? Like you don't talk to them anymore, but how it happens, sometimes you start to just stray away. Other times, you know, things happen to take situations away like that. But a lot of times it's not where you mean it. It just kind of happens, right? But I've noticed that 110%. At some point in time, the ones that really don't do you wrong or do you dirty, they come back around again. And it's just to see the difference in the frequency, right? So sometimes that will occur. That's usually what occurs around Mars and Mercury. And they'll come back around like that. So, you know, Mama Briggs, is it a possibility if I can give you a reading today? I haven't done one for you in a while, and I would love to do a reading for you here, if you don't mind. That's part of the process, yeah, but see, a lot of people take that with disdain, right? And a lot of people take it personally, but when you're under certain orders, there's certain things that you can't interject with, because here's what happens. So there's, in my world, my personal world, there's certain things that people have to do and heal through on their own wings, right? But because of what I do naturally and innately, but what I do in my practice and in my work, too, when people come to me, they're coming to me to clear out things and to elevate and to see things in new ways and new perspectives and get new light codes and new perspectives, right? So when I sit with them, sometimes it just naturally happens. And I'll, being the shaman that I am, naturally just take on their shit and take on their karma, right? It just happens. So then I'm transgressing for them, but then they don't go through the process, right? So there's times when people that I care about are going through things, but based upon my contract and theirs, I'm not allowed to do that, because if I come in contact with them, then I'm taking on their role, their karma, their energy, their healing that they're supposed to learn from. And this is why most times when people sit with me, personally, in a space, they'll sit there, and in the next 3 days, the transition will take place. It's just something that happens. I can't help it. The confirmation happens all the time. People are like, holy crap, like the energy shifts and changes. And so it's just what happens. Being the shaman, being in my bloodline, being in that place and space. You know, people use that word and term very lightly, and it's not to be used lightly, because the energy that you come in contact with, you naturally transmute, you naturally take on. So this is why a lot of people have to be removed, so that you can sit with yourself. And when spirit steps away from you, and when spirit steps away from you and everybody kind of has been removed from you, it's because they're trying to get you to see something. They're trying to get you to tune into something. And they're like, I don't know what it is, I can't figure it out. Well, yeah, because you're trying to figure it out from here. That's not the spiritual space. The spiritual space is here. So if you can't get out of the monkey mind to get to the spiritual space here, then you can't get clear. People don't know how to meditate for themselves. It's not one way or one thing. It can be different at different times of day. But people don't know how. People don't know how to connect to their ancestors. They don't know how to connect to their guides. So then anything that comes into their auric field, they're like, oh, you must be my guide. You must be my ancestor. And then they make friends with the monster. And then they got to learn the hard way. That was me at the age of 17. I'm here so you don't have to do that for yourselves. I did that for you. I did that for you already a long time ago. All right. Oh, well, that's the whole point. How else are you going to learn protection if you don't get direction, right? Because here's you go. It doesn't matter who you are or what you are. I have over 3,000 dead people that walk with me every day, and I will not discuss who walks with me from a spiritual aspect or place by any means whatsoever. But I will tell you this. They have allowed more shit to actually happen than not. So I learned how to take care of the distraction. Because this is what I'm here to do. I'm here to remove it, right? So you can put up as much protections as you want to. But if you are light, which is information, and you're here to penetrate the dark, which is lack of information, don't you think that you're going to have to, like, go through some levels before you actually learn your fullest potential of protections? See, the game's played backwards. The game's played backwards. It's... See, the game's played backwards. Oh, you can put up protections all you want to. Go ahead. But eventually, it doesn't always work that way on purpose. You're very welcome. It doesn't work that way on purpose because you're also here to be taught. You're here to teach, but you're here to be taught. You're here to learn. You're here to listen, right? So one of the best ways that we get taught is by hands-on experience. So most of the time we learn what not to do before we learn what to do, right? We learn what not to do before we learn what to do, but the process of learning what not to do binds us up in our own karmic wheel, in our own weaving of the web, which is the dream catcher. You guys know specifically, whoever donated, I'll be there with you in a minute after I get with Mama Briggs, but you know specifically the dream catcher wasn't the dream catcher, right? It's not what it was. It was a representation of the circle of life. It was a representation of the interconnectedness of the weaving of the web of all things, you and all things. And that's what the knots represent. And then when they started parading Geronimo around, that's when they started making money off the dream catcher. And the intention changed. And the intention then changed into catching the bad things in the web at nighttime. You know, Thanksgiving is the day of slaughter. So you're praising a sacrifice. You're praising a sacrifice on Christmas. You're praising a sacrifice on Easter. You're praising a sacrifice on Cinco de Mayo. And you're praising a sacrifice on Thanksgiving. You're giving thanks for a slaughtering. They didn't come together. There was no coming together. They took over. They slaughtered them. Yep. The whole ideologies and perceptions of what you're doing and what you're celebrating are going to change eventually because it doesn't feel good anymore. It's where the lies of what they hid from your eyes is coming through the doors. Over 13,000 Native Americans slaughtered that day. They didn't come together. That's a fake story. You kidding me? You can go back and do your research in history, but it's there. And it doesn't feel right. That's one of the things. Everything's changing. The falsified calendar, everything. It is. It's terrible. It's changing. It's terrible. That's part of the spiritual identity loss. Because so many of you are going from who you thought you were to what you truly are. And how do you get from who you thought you were to what you truly are? Oh, the realizations are painful. Painful. But we're here. We're here. But see, this is where you're clearing out so much generational trauma, right? You don't know what you don't know. So that's why you've got to clear out the victim mentality and stuff to help clear out the generational stuff. Because that's the whole point. Yeah, you feel terrible, but you didn't do anything. You didn't have anything to do with it, right? All you can do is change your views and change your perspectives of it. That's it. That's all there is to it. You know? And that's the most, if you choose to, because we're not here to tell anybody how to rule their lives or what to do. By no means. I cast judgment upon no one for their celebrations of their love with their family and what that is turned into for them personally, of the family celebration and the family gathering and the family celebration of, you know, the fall and the celebration of Yule and the celebration of the solstices and the changings, because Yule is to give thanks for those 12 days for what you have harvested. And then it's the solstice on the 21st. So those 12 days is a giving of thanks until the celebration of the solstice, which is actually the harvest. Because you're cooking everything that you have prepared and that you have gardened and that you have jammed and so on and so forth. So you're preparing all your meals. And you're giving thanks for those 12 days up until the solstice. And so then that's what that piece is. And so you're moving back to the natural, more ordinate process. It's all about cycles, right? And when they took part of the calendar out of the cycles, it messed everything up. You know, that's part of the illusionary process. The 13th month rather than the 12th and so on and so forth. So a lot of things are coming back to natural divine order. Yeah. Yeah, I have 4 in total, and I've got 2 that have been fully aware, 110% fully aware. Melina, I'll get to you in just one second. So they have been fully aware since they were 3 years old, because they went through a lot of stuff with me when it comes to spirit and mediumship and ghosts and stuff, because they could see, hear, and feel. So I've got 2 that are way older, that are out of the house and grown, that went through that space. And then I've got 2 little younger ones, and it's pretty cool because to see the difference. So the 2 little younger ones are way more cosmic, interstellar, and connected to all things, where the 2 older ones were a lot more like me in the grounded aspects of the mediumship and the dead people and da-da-da-da-da. And they've grown through their process. But the 2 little guys, it's just like innate. It's just they're wide open, you know. All right, so here we go. First, I'm going to do a couple cards for Mama Briggs because I need to. And Melina, I'll be right with you. Thank you, ma'am. All right. There's a process at hand. We know this, all right? Taking a stand or a demand, okay? You're looking for the solidarity of some type of structural financial plan, okay? That's what's crossing you right now. You're looking for the 10 of Pentacles, Mama Briggs. You're trying to come up with a structured plan for you, okay? Yep. There's the confirmation of the Temperance that's balancing you. You're moving through a lot of fear right now. Thank you. You're moving from a lot of fear right now. But something's about to clear out. Yeah, the King of Wands. The King of Wands is a controlling energy. The King of Wands to me is somebody that's trying to literally... It's not nice energy. So we're going to figure out where this comes from here. Allow me to see what I need to see for Mrs. Briggs here. Thank you. Knight of Wands. This is somebody that doesn't know what they're doing here in this process. And I don't know why it's ensuing upon you. What's going on here? A male that is a female that have spoken some untruths. Yeah. This has to do with the lack of feeling left out too. So you're going through a financial process here too, where it's like this lack of some type of feeling inside you right now. This is all a projection space, Mama Briggs. Because really in your heart centered here, you're in this Temperance and this Balance and this 10 of Coins. But this is all the energy that's around my head here that's being reflective. Yeah, and the Three of Swords in reverse here. Allow the shift to change. Michael is aware of what it brings. Okay. Okay. The King of Cups in reverse is the spiritual process here, but it's not clear. Why are we doing this? The choice. Okay, so you already know what it is. And the choice to remove it. Because it is a projection. Some people might say it's a worst space, smaller braids, but it's not a worst space. It's triggering the worth space. You've already been through this process. But you can feel this energy. Look, the Ace of Swords of clarity. Tonight when you can, go into meditation or call me if you can. Because I want to digress through with you about this. I'm open this evening too. Okay? Yeah, the Queen of Cups. Your intuition of trust. A lack of determination. I don't know what that means, if you're in lack of determination or you're feeling like this process will never end here. But they're telling you that this process is going to run clear here through tonight. But this is a projection. And it started yesterday, not just today, is what they're telling me. This isn't the energy of you. This is the energy of somebody else. Could be the projections like from an ex-husband because they're healing through their wounds and their trauma too. Okay? So, when other people... Okay, so when people go through healing, Mama Briggs, when people go through healing and stuff and their trauma comes up, they start sometimes going back to that previous space. So, they have thoughts of you, and if they have feelings of anger, revenge, whatever... That's what's coming up again. Hey, Liz, that's what's coming up again. Okay? So, you're feeling the projection of the attack here. Okay? Is what's going on. So, you're feeling the projection of the attack. Michael is heavily strong. Heavily strong. But it's not you. It's the disappointment or the defeat or the depressional state is not you. Because that's not normally who you are. And I don't know if you've had a dream. Did you feel like you were fighting or you had a dream recently? It's almost like there was foresight to this possibly happening in some sort of way. Okay? All right, Miss Melina. Really? Thank you. That's gonna be loud. I don't want it to be loud. That's gonna hurt. Okay. They're calling me to grab 2 other decks for you, dear. So give me a second. Okay. Alright. Hey, you! How are you gonna come up here and then not say hi? And sneak around? Alright. Oh, the puzzle piece. Alright, here we go, Melina. What's going on? What processor?
Hi, lady.
Hi!
I love you.
I love you, dude.
Okay, I was looking for the keys.
Oh, crap. The pumpkin. Did you find the pumpkin? Okay, the pumpkin. Alright. Melina. Okay, so you're really generous. You're in this heart openness, but I also feel like you're looking for this reciprocity here, and it hasn't started yet. Saturn in Pisces is taking effect on you, but it just went redirect. So, like, it was in retrograde, and this had an effect here on your finances here, too. But there's an upswing here that they're telling me that's pulling through for you here. Optimistic, yeah. You're very optimistic about things because some things have changed for you while others remain the same is what I just heard, okay? Let's see what this energy is right now. Moving through. Ten of Wands here. So they want this upright. And so this energy is almost clear, but you're learning how to put other people's boundaries down is what they're saying to me. And what they mean by this is other people have set boundaries with you and sometimes they have pissed you off. And that's okay because that's not where you wanted to play anyway is what they're saying here. But those boundaries then, you realize that they were only showing you that you were the one that needed those boundaries from them is what they're showing me. So it's like you've taken what this emotional piece is and that emotional piece is, and you've put that on your shoulders to figure out what to do. Here is what they're saying here. All right. This overburdening of finances and foundation and career, it's like, oh my God, I don't think I can hold any more on my back, okay? But the cool news is that the Ten of Wands is here to show you that it's almost out of this cycle, okay? So Saturn just went direct 4 days ago, so you're in the middle of the process. Plus, they're telling me that you have other placements that are fixed here too, that are being attributed to, of course, the Pluto and Capricorn move into Aquarius here too. So that was a big shift for you too. Yeah, the devil's in the past here. So this is energies against you, but also you against you. There were karmic ties that you cut through recently. All right. Yeah, you're going to have probably about 16 fake accounts follow you. This is the only one I've got. Yep. So you cleared this devil energy. All right. Now, the devil energy isn't a bad thing. It's not only about here you being against you, but it's about outside energy reflective to you. But it's also that energy where you want to hurry up the process. Sometimes things do need to be detailed. And other times the devil comes through and it's like, oh my God, I just want to be done. And can we just hurry up and paint this? And that's not what this is. And that's what you were trying to move through. The patience, the passion, the persistence here. And now that is the forward motion here of the optimism. It's like you got more clear, but this is more clear in here. You wanted to give up, you wanted to fold, right? And then something was like, nope, you're not folding through this process. The Page of Swords, you have a new direction, new communication, and new enlightenment. So when the Page of Swords comes out, this is a new process, a new revelation, a new way of seeing something, a new way of doing something, a new communication that's coming in. So I do feel like there was an intuitive block here is what they're showing me. And through this process of the devil energy, the intuitive block was removed. So you received more clarity. And the frequency isn't as staticky. Because your volume's turned up over here is what they're showing me. But the frequency over here was staticky. And there wasn't a lot of connection coming through. So you had apprehension here about what it was to do or move through. And the future position here is clarity. So the Page of Pentacles, dude. You have 2 pages. This is all beautiful new energy. The pages are the most important process here in this reading here. The only major arcana that we have, that look, we've got the Hierophant on the bottom, which is you, which is the creator, leading your own path, doing something new. Now, you don't have to completely scrap all of it, but you're redoing pieces and parts of it. Like, the whole model isn't broken, but you've lost a screw, and you need a nut over here, and a washer over here, and you might need a plug right there, okay? But it's not fully broken. So don't scrap all of it. You're reinventing it, which is reinventing you. You're reinventing a karmic cycle. This is new. The Page of Swords here is the intellect, how to move through something. So you have more clarity. It's the newest of energy here, besides the Page here of Pentacles and what you are creating in the process of what you're doing. The Peacock. Now the peacock feathers connecting my lineage and my heritage to the eagle feather. And the eagle feather is very sacred. The eagle feather is the transition, the achievement of the transition. It's also very heavily divinely protected too. So a lot of people will refer to the peacock here being connected to and relevance to that of an eagle feather of an achievement. Very abundant here too. And the Page of Pentacles is moving into this new vibration of you. The new logic, the new finances, the new stability. You've worked really, really hard on your worth space with your finances. And now it's new. So you've got a couple new folded maps as they show me here. Okay, Christina? Couple new folded maps. And these folded maps have not been written yet for you. You are writing them as you go. Because these are blank pages in a sense, okay? So the pages, I'm so sorry, it's like extra fucking bright here, excuse me. I don't even know why, but we're putting like extra right there. Let's see if that works. So it's literally the blank canvas, but it's abundant, right? It's new energy. Now the Page of Swords here is the new way of doing something, the new perception that you have, right? Of something. So literally the future energy is the Page of Swords. The outcome is the Page of Pentacles. That's pretty good. The pages are the new. And if you have children, they're waking up too. What's the advice to move through? What's the supportive energy here? Look, this is beautiful. The Six of Swords and the Four of Pentacles. Okay? This is not being too rigid in my stability. This is being open here. This is the offering, the generosity, but this is also an offering coming to me as I continue to move forward here with the Six of Swords energy. They threw both of them, but this is the advice here. So what do I need to do? Well, I'm balancing the stability of the give and take here. Something's being offered to me for me to move into with the Six of Swords here, all right? And the Six of Swords is moving into a new perception, moving into a new reality. Kind of unsure because I don't know where I'm going yet. But at least I'm in the boat and I'm moving forward, okay? And I've got my protection around me. And this is moving you into the Eight of Wands, into the fast-paced energy here of the Page of Swords, into the Page of Pentacles. There's a 24-hour advancement here. So, thank you. The Strength card is something you're unaware of. I don't think you understand how strong you really are until strong is the only thing you have left to be. But what you're unaware of here is it's the passion, the persistence, and the patience, right? The Strength card takes a long time to transition. And there's pieces of you that thought that you were, oh, I'm done. Oh, that feels good. It's over and done with, right? And then you're like, oh, shit, there's more to that. And then you go through the thing and you're like, oh, I'm glad we're over with that. And then you're like, oh, shit. It's the same thing. So it's almost like you're going through the same cycle but different energy. And it's taken time for you to break those chains and for you to adapt to these different pieces, these different parts, and these different ways of how to do things. So to me, the Strength card is really personally about being in that graceful tact. It's like knowing to allow the energy to naturally flow and that I don't have to necessarily meddle in it, nor do I have to have it in a chokehold. It's where I've got the ambition tamed. I have the strength tamed. I have the determination tamed. So my understanding that's playing out in the background here is the softer side of things, realizing that sometimes I don't have to do anything. I just have to allow the natural state of quantum energy to take place. And that's what drives the change, okay? It hasn't always been easy, and I feel like I'm moving a lot. I'm all over the place here. Like, I feel like I bit off more than I can chew. Like, there's feelings that I bit off more than I can chew here. And now you're coming out of that feeling of, oh shit, I shouldn't have done this, right? So, or I bit off more than I can chew. And that's the energy here of the new coming through. So this is a beautiful process for you too. Thank you so much, Christine. All right. But you didn't bite off more than you can chew. It's only those thoughts that you're thinking that you did, right? It's only you thinking that you did. But being in that Strength card, you're like, oh my God, It's like the never-ending story. It's that long path of having to reflect and sit back and allow those things to naturally occur, and not try to control them, and not try to interject, and not try to lead with ambition and go all over the paintbrush, right? It's not fair, but that's what we do. And because some people rush their healing, and then they have to realize that they have to go back through it again and again and again and again, because they rushed through pieces that was just surface level stuff. And now they're coming back to the awareness going, oh shit, I thought I did this, I thought I did that, right? And it's going down to the bare bones level of that realization that it's on another level. So people are coming to terms to those things with themselves, all right? And it's been huge. Because your destiny is not a thinking process. It's a spiritual, intuitive space. It's different pieces of your journey coming in and merging into one space. Your path of how you get there can be all over the place, right? The life path can be all over the place like the tree to get to that destiny that's this piece, that piece, this piece, that piece. It's the intertwining and interwoven process of all things here. You're welcome. But it's not just hang on, it's knowing when to hold them, knowing when to fold them. It's knowing when to make things happen, and knowing when to step back with grace and going, okay, this is one of those things that I just need to watch and see what takes place. Versus, okay, I need to take some action now. And that's the divine feminine in the representation of the strength card. Because when you sit there with that, with the strength card, in that way, and you see her, right? And you see her in that, look, tell me that's not divine feminine energy sitting there going, okay, we're trusting the process. But guess what? I got the chain around the lion, and if I want to let go of this lion, I can at any point in time. I know when to use the lion. I know how to use the lion. I knew when to use my discernment, how to use my discernment. I know when to make the movement move, and I also know when to retract too. But not because I have to, because I want to. Because I feel like I know the difference between the two. Okay? And that's where that process is right now. That's the strength card that's moving through that process, right? Yeah, the collective. This is all the new innovation, and a lot of you are resistant to the new innovation. The only reason why they're saying that you're resistant to the new innovation is because of the fact is that it's the emotion inside of you. You're resisting the transitional process of the emotion, right? And you're going, it doesn't feel good, and choice is on the bottom. So it's the innovation here that you're coming into the new awarenesses on a deeper level and on many different levels. We're not just talking embodiment of the physical human body here. We're talking of all things, and it's the innovation of the new wave, right? The divine in me sees the divine in you. So literally the resistance process here is what you're moving through, but too many of you are trying to figure out what to do, and it's the mental process. You got to take the mind out of it. You got to go back to basics, take the mind out of it. Some of you have evolved so far that it's like you're having a hard time balancing out because we've got all these new waves that are coming in, right? So first wave, right? Here, the pathway, leading the pathway, first wave, all the way back in like ever ago, all right? And then you've got second wave, which is part of what I just helped raise the vibration to, right? We got a lot of people that have moved on from MySpace and graduated. Now we've got the third wave coming in, okay? So we've got a lot of people that are new, and all these spiritual things are happening to them, and they're waking up, and they're seeing things, and they're hearing things, and feeling things. So we got to go all the way back to the grounded basis of how to meditate, how that is different for each individual person, Because when we teach people how to meditate, it's not only pieces and parts of you that we work through to figure out what the best way is for you, but we teach you all pathways, because it's not just one way. And that information allows you to come up with your own foundation, which is your own spiritual path, which allows you to come more deeper into your own identity. Because all you've been done your entire life is told what you are and who you are and how to do this and how to do that. That was my problem in life, is people telling me what to do and how to do it. That's why I got into trouble. But that's also why I was able to be the free-spirited being that I was and never detached from the spiritual reality. Because I did what I wanted, how I wanted, when I wanted, because I literally had no adult supervision in my life. None. Okay? And that also got me into trouble, but it allowed me to connect to the deepermost pieces of me, because that's all I had. Saving my ass. That was my mom. That was my dad. My grandfather came to me at the age of 17, who wasn't my native chief, who literally is my grandfather, who literally is Lakota. My grandmother is Hopi, and he came to me ever since I was 17, and he's led me on that path. But he's also connected me back to my heritage too, in multiple different ways. So the resistance to the path of what this innovation is that you're here to do and you're here to change is what's opening up inside of you. But if you continue to resist the very thing that you are because you're afraid, or you're afraid you're going to do something wrong, or you're afraid of this, or you're afraid of that, that's part of the fear context that they want you in, is not believing in yourself. So it looks like fear, but it's because you don't believe in yourself and you don't trust in yourself. And that's the only reason why you fear, because it's false evidence appearing real. So if you trust yourself and you believe in yourself, then there's really no fear, without a doubt. So you're realizing that there's fear that's still being played on. Because when you're in the 0 point of the emotional state, you're the observer of all things. So you think that you believe in yourself. You think that you trust yourself. But that's where the truest of the reality is coming up to the seams, going, oh shit, I fear this, I fear this, I fear this, I fear this. Fearing your abilities, fearing your gifts, fearing the one that they told you was God versus the understanding of what God is. God is not a being. God is not a thing. It is all things. It is omnipresent. It is everywhere, at every moment, at every time. And you are a part of that. How do you get to that? How do you feel that? How do you connect to that, right? And so many people, when they come to me, they think they're connected and they think that they can feel that, right? And then when they get to sit with me, it's just boom, wide open, right? The resistance to the process, right? And there's been regret, and there's been remorse, and there's been sadness, because a lot of you turned your backs on God. I did too, because of what they told me God was. So then I had to figure it out for myself at the tender age of 11 years old. And I was mad and I was angry because of what they continued to try to tell me what was versus what I knew to be. Because I was seeing and was told different things from Yeshua at a very young age. I got kicked out of churches. They tried to do a baptism on me. They forced me to take communion. They forced me to go through Sunday school because they thought that that was going to like free me of whatever demonic spirits, right? So the innovation of the trust here, the resistance, right? And it looks different for everybody in multiple different ways, right? So getting to those deepest layers of that trust and that belief and removing the fear of your abilities. Because I have people come to me all the time, they're like, I'm afraid. And I'm like, why? You know, why? What's going on there? And when we get to the deeper layers of the why, that fear is then removed. I got to go into, and I love her to pieces, man. Deb's been a mentee of mine, but I got to go into a contract with her today where we got to go into her Akash, and we did some Akasha records and healing and reading, but a lot of it had to do with this lifetime. And I just love her to pieces, man, and she won't care that I talk about it. But it was cool as shit because I get to do that with people. And she had this fear of God because she was put into a place where she was hurt by nuns, and she got smacked with rulers, and she was demeaned, and she was told that, you know, blah, 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 blah. She had the fear, you know, of God inside of her, but against her. And so it was so beautiful to be able to unclog that space and that fear for her, man. And we got to sit there today, and it was just so beautiful. And like, she could feel all of this being removed. It was so cool. The Five of Swords, yeah, man. The illusions, the destruction, the deceit, right? But it's your own beliefs that have done this to yourself because of other people's personifications. So other people's personifications happen, but then you took the reaction and imprinted it upon yourself. Okay? And when you did that, that's when the subconscious then came into play, the resistance of what you're moving away from. All right? Standing your boundary of what you know to be true for you, right? And that's what everybody is coming into, right? And there's going to be those that align with you and those that, you know, are with you and those that move away from those places and spaces, because that's what it's about. Yeah, the Four of Cups. It's this emotional, external space of you waiting for something to take place, but then your team's going, well, when are you going to do it? When are you going to make it? When are you going to innovate it? When are you going to... It's all of this new energy. We've got Jupiter here with the Aquarius energy. So it's really about those new spaces that are being innovated inside of you. You called upon the ancestors to do things and to help you, and that's exactly what you're getting and being innovated inside of you, right? But it's not looking the way that you expected to. That's the emotional fulfillment of that cup, right? So the Four of Cups is how it's going to look one way. It's the metaphors and the words that they use and that they say, right? And so you've had to look in between and get to the depth of the words in which they choose to use, which you are the interpreter of those words. Are you not? So sometimes when you think you're hearing certain words, you're the interpretation. You are the interpreter. So sometimes you've only been the one to mislead yourself because you misread yourself. That's okay too. It's okay too. We've been there before too. This is why the Hermit comes out. So inside that Hermit lantern is normally the star, right? But see, now you have the awareness to illuminate the snake. To illuminate what the snakes are that stand in your pathway, the obstacles, right? Right? You know how to handle those obstacles, but you also know how to lead on your own path. The Hermit's also about coming down from the mountain with the knowledge and the wisdom that it has and making its own pathway and coming out of the darkness into the light, right? And that's the lantern too, being able to light your own pathway and use your intuition. The Hermit's a really good intuition card, okay? And it's talking about leading on your own path here and leading in your own awareness and being able to spot those obstacles so that you can move around them, because you now have the intuitive awareness of how to handle situations which used to baffle you. But guess what? You learned what? How to trust and how to believe in yourself and have a way different relationship with yourself, with spirit, and the belief. And that is the choice that you're making. All right? I love you all. Please take care of yourselves and each other. Don't forget that flash sale is going on through tomorrow. It's 22% off. That's pretty big there. So if you guys need anything, you are more than welcome to reach out to me on the website there. The link is in the bio, okay? Take care of yourselves and each other, all right? I'll see you sometime tomorrow. Mwah. I love you too, Mama Briggs. Thank you, guys. Take care. Have a beautiful night.